It started with a crash. Not the kind that ends a career, but the kind that starts one. In a small British workshop, the air smelled of oil, grease, and determination. The man at the bench wasn't a racer. He was a mechanic, one of those quiet, meticulous types who made sure everyone else's machines ran just right. Day after day, he prepared engines, tuned carburetors, and tested parts for men who lived for speed. He admired them, sure, but that world felt distant, dangerous even. He was happy just keeping the bikes running. Until one afternoon, fate brought a different kind of challenge rolling into the shop.
Twist, twist, twist of fate radio.
A race bike, battered and sputtered after a crash, needed serious work. The team was desperate. Their rider was injured, and a replacement hadn't been found. While the other mechanics debated how to fix it, this quiet engineer simply rolled up his sleeves. Piece by piece, he rebuilt the machine, adjusting the valves, resetting the suspension, rebalancing the frame. When he finally looked up, someone joked, "You've done all that. Why don't you ride it yourself?" At first, he laughed it off, but then came the invitation. Just a test ride, they said. Just to make sure everything was working. What harm could it do? Out on the track, something changed. The hum of the engine beneath him, the blur of the world around him. It was electric, natural. He wasn't just repairing a machine anymore. He was becoming part of it. The rhythm, the timing, the instinct, they all clicked. And when he returned to the pits, his grin said everything. Word spread fast. That mechanic who could ride had turned in lap times no one expected. Soon the team asked him to stand in for the injured racer. Just temporarily, of course. But one temporary race led to another. One podium finish turned into a season. And before long, the mechanic who was never supposed to leave the workshop was standing under the checkered flag. But this wasn't a fairy tale. It was a fight. He broke bones. He pushed through pain. He crashed more times than anyone could count. Yet each time, he got back up, patched himself together, and rode faster than before. Yeah! Oh, I love a story like this. Anyway, his charm and grit made him a fan favorite, especially when he faced off against some of the fastest men in the world. And it wasn't just his talent that turned heads. It was his attitude. He was witty, rebellious, and always seemed to be grinning through the chaos. By the mid-70s, he wasn't just racing. He was dominating. 2 world championships, multiple wins across continents, and a legacy that inspired countless others to chase the thrill of 2 wheels and open roads. All because one day, a mechanic decided to take a bike for a test ride. The man was Barry Sheene, a name that became synonymous with speed, resilience, and British racing spirit. He was the sports rock star, fast, fearless, and full of personality. He survived a 175-mile-per-hour crash that should have ended his life, then came back to race again, just because he couldn't imagine doing anything else. His story wasn't about chasing destiny. It was about stumbling into it, oil-stained hands and all. Sometimes life doesn't give you a map. Sometimes fate hands you a wrench and waits to see what you'll build. This has been Twist of Fate Radio. I'm Angela Clark. Until next time, remember, sometimes the smallest choices lead to the biggest consequences. Want to explore more stories like this? Visit twistoffateradio.com. There you can read more details about this story and others like it. Plus, you can submit your own Twist of Fate story to be considered for a future episode. You never know what twist of fate is coming next.